Hey everyone, welcome back to Addie P's Real Estate Tea. Just wanted to drop a quick video real quick to discuss some things regarding landlords, leases, and unfortunately eviction. Now, if you like what you hear in this video, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Also subscribe and hit the bell notification to be notified of future videos on this channel. And you already know, if you're watching your girl from Instagram, drop her a heart and show her some love. All right. Well, I felt this on my heart to kind of talk about. I will have a story time at some point in time, and maybe after this video, if this one doesn't get to be too long-winded, to kind of go over with you all who are either in the landlord game already or anticipating becoming a landlord. Landlordship can be, if that's even a word, but it can be very rewarding. Of course, from a financial aspect, building wealth and so forth. But it can also be a very trying one. Now, in regard to becoming a landlord and also to kind of help stave off a bad situation of evicting and just having a bad tenant situation, period, I wanted to kind of drop a little couple of tips along the way for you all. Now, that first one is when you are going through the process of finding a tenant, what you want to do is you don't ever want to skip the application and screening process. I can't say that enough. I know a lot of landlords, especially when you're concerned and you're really working in a tight margin, profit margin, especially if you're new to this and you don't have a lot to fall back on, you're eager to, fill that vacancy. All right. And I get it. But what you don't want to do is just rush, because as an old colleague of mine always taught me and told me, is that no tenant is better than a bad tenant. Okay, so you definitely want to keep that in the back of your mind and don't ever skip over that process. I know you want to help someone, whether it's family, friend, whatever, but I encourage you, because people don't always tell the truth, they're not always very honest, but you want to definitely go through that process and, have them fill out the application, provide proof of income, and a check for prior evictions. Now, for me personally, I always recommend to my landlord clients to utilize a report from a website called myrental.com. Most tenants will pay for their own background screenings and so forth. That's the one that I particularly like to use. This is not any kind of personal plug or endorsement for them. I'm just a realtor talking about what I do during this process on behalf of my clients and so forth. So when they are applying for a potential tenancy, I recommend to the landlord, if they already do not have a process in place, to utilize this report. This report is super thorough. I mean, it picks up traffic tickets, the whole nine. But that will show you, and it does multi-state, which is fantastic. So if you were living, in California and you got evicted there, it's going to pop up, if your landlord there filed on you and so forth. So, you definitely want to check for that. Do I believe in second chances? Absolutely. But I think that, and we can discuss that at a later date, another video, but I really feel that credit worthiness and so forth and income worthiness needs to be proven in order to kind of give that second chance. And that's just my opinion. You can say, Addie, go to hell. I don't care what you think. That's fine. It's my video and that's my opinion. So those are some of the things, first off, that I feel that you really, really have to do is you have to, make sure that you are vigorously screening and don't be so thirsty and eager to get someone in just to get that money, because, hey, let's be real here. Using this as an example, I am looking for a place to go. I can have my best friend, sister, cousin say, oh, when so and so calls, you tell them that you're my landlord. Okay, cool. Or, give me a good reference. And I just got my income tax return. So I can not only give you, the first month's rent plus the security, but I could give you a couple months up front too. And again, for a landlord who is really kind of struggling and trying to get that vacancy filled, that's very enticing. So they may say, "Oh, you know what? We'll work with this." But keep in mind that a year is a very long time to deal with a problem tenant. And if that person is a problem and they're in the property, Lord only knows what they're going to do. So just keep that in mind, that tidbit. Next is your lease. I can't stress this enough. To have an ironclad lease, make sure that you, as the landlord, are protecting yourself to the fullest. I know here in PA, and you'll have to check your local municipality, see what goes into the lease. You don't have to use a lease that a realtor provides to you. You can have an attorney draft one, but make sure whatever is in there is ironclad. And when I say that, meaning, say, such details as when the lease ends, does it just then continue on as a month to month? Or does it terminate at that time? Say you start the lease October 1st of 2022. Does that end, September 30th, 2023 at 12 midnight or 11:59 p.m. What are the terms? So you want to make sure that again is ironclad, that there's no playroom, that it's not gray area, that it's black and white. Because when you go before that magistrate, if you unfortunately have to evict that person, then what could potentially go on is they say, well, the dates on here are a little fuzzy. You don't have in here that this is ending on this date. It's saying that after this date, it's month to month. So make sure that you have those types of details worked out. Also, I know here in PA, at least in the particular counties that I cover and so forth, and the magisterial things that I've dealt with in the past for landlord clients of mine, is a notice to quit. Or basically, you have 10 days to come up with the money that you owe me, because you're late on rent, or else I will take further legal action. What does that look like? Have you given that tenant that opportunity, that 10-day window? And like I said, that's just an example of what we do here, the experience that I've had in that sense. So have you done that? Is that required in the lease? Those are some things to know, because again, if someone hasn't paid and you go before the magistrate, that may be a question that the magistrate asks you. Hey, did you give them notice to quit? Did you tell them that within 10 days, if they have not paid you, that you're going to take them to court? If you say, oh, well, I don't know, or no, I didn't, then that could automatically not be in your favor and take a different turn. So those are some things to think about. And there are some other caveats, some other little nuggets that, again, if y'all want to hear about some more things, please drop some comments below. Let me know. And lastly, my only other suggestion to you is don't be cheap. If you are unfamiliar with leases and you don't have a real estate professional, like a realtor, helping you out on that end of things, then hire a real estate attorney. A lot of times you can get someone a real estate attorney to draft a lease for you, or even just kind of look over it, tell the tenant, hey, I'm going to have this drafted. You can look over it. And even on the tenant's end of things, don't don't cheap out. If this is something that you know can make or break where you're going to live for the next year or however long the leasing terms are, then you definitely want to make sure that you have a trained eye reviewing that. So again, speaking to my landlord clients in particular, you know, or future landlord clients, future landlords, whoever, do not cheap out. Have an attorney look over that and say, okay, everything looks good here. I would add this, I would add that. But you definitely want to keep in mind these tidbits of information with going forth, because just these few things, when I tell you, can make or break and make your landlording experience awesome. Hey, I'm making money, you know, I have great ideal tenants. Or it can be, oh my goodness, this has ruined me. I am never going to be a landlord again. I'm done with this experience. You know, it can. So please be sure to take this seriously. Don't be greedy. Don't be thirsty, and take your time with finding someone, but also you know, get into that lease and make sure that that lease is on point. And lastly, like I said, if you feel that there are things in that lease that you don't understand, hire that real estate attorney. It's worth your money, especially in the long run. All right, well, as always, thank you all for watching. I hope to have some more tidbits of information for you all. Like I said, if you want to hear more, drop me some comments in the comment section. If you liked what you hear, share. If you didn't like what you hear, at least let me know what you didn't like and what you'd like to hear in the future. All right, until the next video, you all have a great one and a blessed one. Take care.